are back. The Mariners had a little bit of a rocky patch there with the Blue Jays and Yankees series, but they righted the ship with the Vetter Cup in San Diego. It was a little tense there for a minute, but things seem to be going back to normal. We got plenty to talk about in this week's episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Sogcast. I'm Patrick.
And I'm Garrett.
Yeah, what happened during that Blue Jays Yankees homestand? 1-5 on the homestand. Got swept by the Blue Jays, scraped together a 2-1 victory in 11 innings against the Yankees, and that was the only win for the entire homestand. That was not fun baseball.
No, I was pretty mad at the Mariners there for a little bit, and then after the Padres series, I kind of forgot why I was mad.
And, it is kind of like, because baseball, it happens so quick, right? Day after day, that a bad week of baseball, which there's no sugarcoating, it was a bad week of baseball, it was not fun. But, boom, you get a sweep the next series, and you just, short-term memory, just focus on the now. And I think the most, reassuring thing is that the problems that we saw in the Blue Jays and Yankees series, we didn't see in the Padres series whatsoever. So it wasn't like, they won some games, but those issues were still there. It was non-existent on the Padres series. But, man, that was some of the worst baseball we've seen from the Mariners during that homestand since the first week or 2 weeks of the season.
Yes. That was the first time the Mariners had lost 4 games in a row all season long.
And, losing 5 of 6 on a homestand, too, against... The Yankees are obviously a great team, and we battled them close. But the Blue Jays series, that was just atrocious. I don't know what happened in that 3-game series.
We got wrecked.
And certain problems in that Blue Jays series, for example, the Seattle special with the game on the line in the 8th inning, bases loaded, no outs, can't score. And that pretty much set the tone for the entire Blue Jays series.
That's a winnable game. Every time that situation comes up, you just don't leave the bases loaded and score 0 runs. That's all we're asking.
Yeah.
Hit somebody in, please. Well, yeah, that'll cost you, man.
Yeah, and the Yankees are just bad pitching, bad bullpen, bad hitting. But sure enough, the 2-1 victory against the Yankees in 11 with the JP walk-off, that was exciting. And, great pitching there. Demo had the costly error.
Yes. With
Munoz on the mound. However, that error has made it so Munoz's ERA on the season is still 0.
Yep.
So
no earned runs.
That's right.
Saw Matt Brash pitching to Aaron Judge, making him look foolish on 3 pitches.
3 pitches to the best hitter in baseball. Aaron Judge is insane. The fact that he is leading the lead or tied for the league lead in home runs, and he's batting, 403 on the season. And Matt Brash does what Matt Brash does, and that makes the top hitters in baseball look silly. And that was awesome. That was really cool to see. And the Mariners actually did a very good job of keeping Aaron Judge in check for the series until the final game where he hit the eventual game-winning home run. But other than that,
it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to hand it to him for that.
Yeah. And then, short-term memory, you just kind of wipe that bad baseball from your mind. We went into a long road trip, the start of the long road trip against the Padres, and we swept them at home. The Padres had the best home record in baseball. They have the 5th overall best record.
They're a good team
in all of baseball.
They didn't look like a good team, though.
No.
They looked pretty bad when we played them.
The Mariners did to the Padres like the Blue Jays did to us.
Yeah.
That's essentially kind of the same thing. To go to San Diego in the Vetter Cup. I was wondering what you thought of the Vetter Cup.
I don't care about the Vetter Cup. I don't think anyone cares about the Vetter Cup, especially Eddie Vedder, who's not a Mariners fan or a Padres fan.
No, he's a Cubs fan.
He's a Cubs fan.
So
it just doesn't make any sense to me. And when has there ever been an argument like they were saying on TV that like, oh, San Diego loves to claim Eddie Vedder. It's like, do they? And they're like, Seattle loves to claim Eddie Vedder. It's like, Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
Are we really like, he's from here? You better get it right. I don't think I've heard anyone say that. It's all very stupid, but whatever. We can win the cool trophy and a guitar.
Yeah, you win a guitar from Eddie Vedder. So one thing that I think is kind of funny is obviously the Vedder Cup doesn't matter, and it's silly and kind of ridiculous. But I do think it's kind of fun to just like have a playful rivalry with the Padres, because we are kind of like sister teams with each other. We share a spring training facility, and we kind of have that back and forth. So I think it's kind of fun to have like a playful rivalry, which obviously means nothing.
Right.
Though,
yeah, it's like something to do. You know?
It's like something fun to play for.
There's always been that, like, I wouldn't even call it a rivalry, but I guess in a way it's more playful than that between the Mariners and Padres, because we share that facility and all that. So just to put something like on the line is kind of fun. It's like betting your friend $1.
Exactly. It's just my biggest issue with it is that it is silly. It means nothing. I really wish the Mariners media would stop. Actually, both teams' medias. I saw the Padres media doing it too, trying to make the players care about it. Like, what
does it mean to you?
They asked,
I'm not from Seattle. I don't care.
They like asked JP at the end of one of the Padre wins, and they're just like, "So, what's your favorite Pearl Jam song for the Vedder Cup?" And he's like, "I'm a 29-year-old that grew up in SoCal. I don't know what Pearl Jam is." No, he said, actually, the way he played it off was pretty funny. He was like, "Oh, you know that one song? It goes, you know how it goes." That's
funny.
But like, we all know it's silly. So I wish they would stop pushing it towards the players. Like, lean in to the ridiculousness.
I guess so. Yeah.
Of it.
Why not?
Instead of...
Because it is stupid.
It is stupid. And the fact that Eddie Vedder doesn't care about either team, that makes it even funnier, honestly.
It's pretty funny.
Because he was born in Illinois. He's a Cubs fan. Apparently, he moved to San Diego when he was like 10, went to high school in San Diego, and then came to Seattle for Pearl Jam. So, honestly, I wish the rivalry was more between the Cubs and the Mariners, just because I love the Cubbies, and that would be more fun for me. But the whole thing is pointless and silly. Just keep it pointless and silly, though. Don't try to make the players care. The players don't care.
Right.
Yeah. You think JP gives a shit if he wins a signed Eddie Vedder guitar? He's going to frame that?
Nah.
No.
He doesn't want it. So what do they do with... It's a trophy, right?
It's a trophy and a guitar.
So would it just like put your team name in the year and like display it in your stadium, and then if you lose it, the next you just it goes.
And
okay, cool. Okay. I guess in like 10 years, when there's like a little back and forth in the names, and it's like,
maybe it will grow over time.
Maybe it will. It seems pretty ridiculous, though.
Yeah.
Let's not harp on it. We spent way too much time on something so stupid.
How about the Mariners, though? The pitching performances in San Diego.
Unreal.
Held them to 3 runs. The Padres to 3 runs total in the entire series. A 1 run a game.
Logan Evans and Emerson Hancock, the 2 young guns, they pitched 10 2/3 inning, and between the 2 of them gave up 1 run to the Padres. That's tight, dude. Good stuff, little young men.
It's so insane how fortunate the Mariners are with their spot starters and coming in and just being dominant pitchers. And obviously, a huge portion of that goes to our coaching staff. It's very well known that the Mariners pitching coaching staff works excellent, working new pitches, control, spin rate. We have a very, very popular and highly regarded pitching staff, like coaching staff for the pitchers. But even still, the fact that, I mean, we, like 9 times out of 10, any starter we bring up is awesome. You know, it didn't work out with Luis F. Castillo, and
It sure didn't.
It didn't, and he's gone just like that. And we're like, well, we're going to use starters that can throw. And we found that with Emerson Hancock. Emerson Hancock still had his one bad start where he couldn't get out of the first inning. And other than that, he's been awesome. Logan Evans has been super great in his starts. One interesting thing, too, he had a blow-up inning that, like, 2 weeks later, one of the base hits got, retroactive to an error. And it dropped his ERA from, 6.5 to, 3.3 or something.
Yeah. On a day off.
Yeah. And just dropped his ERA in half.
That's awesome.
It was also funny that just, the amount of time between that error and when they decided to be like, oh, that was an error, making all the runs that happened after that unearned, which dropped his ERA down immensely. But we were just seeing such dominant things from this pitching staff. And one thing was funny is, we talked about at the beginning of the season, you especially were like, oh, we're worried about the depth of the pitchers. If we have a starter go down, 2 starters go down. We are now down 3 starters, and it is miraculous that we're in first place. There's no rhyme or reason to it. We should, with that many star pitchers going down, including 2 of your aces, top tier aces, go down with injury. And Brian Wu has stepped up
in a huge way. And you, at the beginning of the season, predicted that. I got to hand it to you. At this point, what I thought Bryce Miller was going to do is just not happening. I mean, there's plenty of time to bounce back. He can right the ship moving forward. And he's coming off of the injury. You also predicted the IL stint.
I did.
I mean, dude, you were on it. Yeah, Wu's crazy good.
Yeah. And it's so fascinating to me that if you look at Brian Wu's ERA in college, it's 6.5. Any starter that's in the MLB, they dominated in college, right? That's how you get to the pros. Mm-hmm. And a bunch of teams passed on Brian Wu. They didn't like, his stuff, his arm slot, all this stuff. And the Mariners took this guy, essentially the ugly duckling that nobody wanted. They tweaked him around a little bit, and now he's a Cy Young candidate.
Boom Swan.
It's crazy. Brian Wu has been fantastic, and I can't imagine how good this team is going to be when we get Gilbert back, when we get Kirby back. And the team chemistry, it's so crazy to see all the guys in the dugout, well injured. Kirby obviously was away, especially he was rehabbing in Tacoma.
He's back now.
He's back. Logan Gilbert has been in the dugout all the time, traveling with the team, and that just shows that the vibes are good. The team chemistry is there, and that's huge. And, yeah, I mean, the hitters are stepping up. Great putting the ball in play, and good things will happen.
Being choosy with their pitches, too, taking their walks, has been insane for us.
Yeah. We've just been an all-around ball club. I mean, it's so much fun, and those Blue Jays series, we were seeing bad at bats, chasing stuff. It was like a weird vortex of we reverted to 2024 Mariners
for a week.
Yeah. And, also props to the coaching staff for riding the ship as quickly as they did to have such a tough homestand, and then to go onto the road and just right the ship like that immediately it's beyond impressive. This team is so much fun, and we're not even healthy. We are down so many guys.
Yeah.
And we just lost another. Yeah, Bryce Miller on the IL.
Good way to start your road trip. Vibes are at an all-time high. Sweeping the Padres, who are good.
They're great.
And then you get to play the White Sox, who are less than great.
They are
let's sweep
garbage.
The White Sox.
Yeah, road sweeps are always hard. Mm-hmm. Road sweeps are even harder. If there's a team to sweep on the road, it's the White Sox. They are 14-13 and 14-33 on the season, something like that. Just very bad baseball team.
Don't play down to the competition, though.
That's true.
That's something that we've struggled with in the past, and it comes back to bite us seemingly every single time.
I wonder what the temperature is in Chicago. today because Luis Castillo's on the mound, and if it's chilly, he doesn't do great.
Castillo throws a lot of strikes, puts the ball over the plate a lot.
And over the fence sometimes.
That's what I'm saying. They were saying on the radio the other day, Brian Wu misses when he wants to miss. That dude throws damn near only strikes.
Yeah.
You know how George Kirby doesn't like to walk anybody? Brian Wu doesn't like to throw a ball. It's wild, dude. Just attack. And then Castillo, though, it's like he tries to attack, but then just leaves meaty meatballs right over the plate, and they get banged.
Very true. And we have noticed a steady decline in Luis Castillo's velocity over the last couple years. It's been a pretty steady decline each season. And that just shows to him getting older and stuff and just learning to adjust, something that unfortunately Felix Hernandez never did. Felix Hernandez lost his velocity and he never adjusted. And we saw how it cut his career short. Then you look at someone like Justin Verlander, who obviously Justin Verlander is a total outlier with what of a freak of nature of a pitcher he is. But he's not throwing 100 miles per hour gas anymore, but he's learned to adapt and stuff. And I think we are witnessing Luis Castillo try to adapt more and stuff. Like last year, the home runs were through the roof, because he was trying to cut down on the walks that he had the year previous. So, was it 2 years ago? A lot of walks. Last year, tried to adapt to let's not walk these guys. So then he's attacking the zone a little bit more, and which led to more home runs. So I think just keep tweaking it further and further. Realistically, his days of being a number one ace are behind him. But he's still, good for a number 3, 4 starter on our staff and probably a number 2 on most other pitching staffs.
Right. Well, yeah.
Huh. And, he's on the mound tonight for the White Sox.
Nope, against the White Sox.
In Chicago. But yes.
You said for the White Sox.
Yeah, he is not. Maybe that's where F. Castillo is.
He's on the Orioles.
Yeah.
Dude.
Bounce for cash considerations.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Solano?
Is it worth the breath? But yeah, he's
horrendous. He's actively playing against us. He has a negative wins above replacement.
That is true.
So replace him.
That is one of the more curious decisions on why the Mariners have not replaced Solano yet.
It seems like they're waiting for Rayleigh to come back, but that seems so far out. Didn't he have like 6 weeks or more from when he got injured?
Yeah, it's going to be like after the All-Star break by the time Rayleigh returns.
I think it's a terrible move. You got to do something. I understand why people don't want to call up Locklear or something like that. I mean, if you're going to bring up a young guy to play backup first base, he's not going to get the at-bats that, he needs to like progress.
Right.
At least he's getting everyday at-bats in
Tacoma.
And not even just him, anybody.
Right.
You don't want to pull up prospects to be a backup player. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we did that.
But you got to do something. What are you paying the guy? $3.5 million to just suck, dude.
He's bad. I can only imagine that the reason why Solano is still on the roster is because of the injuries and just kind of got to make do. There's no way Solano will be on this team at the All-Star break.
No. But I just wish we could part ways a little sooner than that.
And honestly, look at we were wrong about this. Rowdy Tellez has been getting it done. He's not going to be on the All-Star team.
No.
But
he's a very serviceable first baseman.
Yeah. And
his defense is fine.
I like his defense. He picks better than Solano does.
You see him lay out for some, dive at balls and stuff, and it's like, okay, good try. He did it, He's good, though. And his bat has been okay.
I saw that he has 8 singles and 7 home runs.
Right.
So I think that's pretty funny. But yeah, Rowdy is getting it done. He's earned his playing time.
Mm-hmm.
And Solano, I don't know. I even felt bad. It was during the Yankees game. Solano had like an 11 pitch at bat that he worked
he had
into
a
a
great
walk.
AB.
That one was exciting, but like we're a first place ball club. We can't have a player on our team where we get excited when they have a good at bat.
It was the best thing he's done all year was have a long at bat.
That ended in a walk, and it was.
Was it a walk?
He did end in a walk.
Good.
It was a great at bat. Fouled off a lot of tough pitches with 2 strikes. Worked it full, and then ended up getting the walk. And we were so excited about it. But it's like, is that the level that we're at for Solano? Where we're like, oh, he had a good AB and he got on base.
Unfortunately, that is exactly where we're at with Solano. God damn. Swept by the Blue Jays. Just kind of got torched by the Yankees. But hey, that Padres series was great, and we needed it badly.
We did. And to just go into their house and show them what's what. It was very nice. And yeah, this Chicago series, let's go for a sweep. Let's get a little six game win streak. I mean, honestly, though, if we take the series, there's no way you can lose the series. Like, I mean, technically it's possible, but this team should not. There's no way on paper that they should lose this series. They need to keep going against the White Sox. And then, honestly, after that, the big one, Houston, 4 games on the road in Houston. They're currently in second place right behind us. Mariners do have a 2-game lead in the division, but you drop 4 there, which can't happen.
That can't happen.
No, but
if you can roll into Houston 6-0 on your road trip, that's sick. We need that. We need that kind of energy right now.
Definitely. And the Houston series is gonna be hard fought baseball. They want first place, and the Mariners don't want to give it up. But yeah, 4-game road divisional matchup. We need all the momentum in the world.
Whew, scary.
That
almost saw a collision in the outfield.
That was almost Julio and who they got out there.
Leody Taveras.
Yeah.
Taveras.
Also, what a weird pickup for Taveras.
He's a Ranger for a long time.
Yeah, won the World Series with the Rangers, and we just kind of...
So did Mitch Garver.
And then we just kind of picked him up out of nowhere. He's been playing right field. I haven't been that impressed with him.
I think he's been totally fine with Rayleigh being gone and
Robles
being gone. That's, I think, a good job. Good pickup.
And, the fact that he's more of a traditional outfielder, I guess I feel more comfortable with him being in right field than Dylan Moore or Masterboni, who can play the outfield, but I feel are much more suited for the infield. So I guess he's fine for right now. He doesn't really push the needle for me, Taveras.
Sure.
But
I think it's a totally serviceable guy.
Yeah, and who knows how long he'll be around too once we are also a fully healthy team. Mm-hmm. But that is potentially months away. So he's going to be around for at least a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And Randy's been playing very well. His base streak did snap.
34 games on base.
That was a long streak. Unfortunately, it did come to an end. But start a new one.
Yep.
Let's see. I mean, just going through the order. Ben Williamson.
Amazing.
He's been such a great fit for us. His bat has cooled off a little bit, but it's not cold. It's not cold, and his defense has been stellar. JP has been so impressive. Batting .270 on the season. I mean, that's a great average for JP.
Polanco's hitting the hell out of the ball.
Oh, bro, I was thinking about this. Imagine how pissed we would be if we didn't re-sign Polanco and he was batting, 315 on another team. And it just became another hitter that came here, sucked, then went to another team and picked it back up again. We're so thankful for Polanco, and I'm so glad that we re-signed him. And it was kind of fortunate. I mean, it's very fortunate that he was so bad last year that no one else really wanted to sign him this year. And I think teams obviously knew about the lingering injury issues and stuff, so they took the lingering injury along with his abysmal performance last year. No team really took any bites on him. The Mariners were able to re-sign him for cheaper, which I don't really care about the financial aspect. Pay every player $1 billion. I don't care.
Right.
But from a business standpoint, they were able to sign him for cheaper, and he's completely overperforming his contract.
Unreal.
But God, could you imagine if he was, on the Tigers or something and he's batting 315, how pissed we would be?
Absolutely. And I was, like a lot of people, so down on Polanco. Just don't sign that guy. What are you doing? This is going to suck. You're just throwing money away. And especially to play third base, that's where I was like, all right, what the hell are we really doing?
I'm so glad that experiment stopped very quickly. That was embarrassing baseball.
Yeah, dude.
Poor Polanco, just no arm strength. Let him hit. Maybe let him play second. If you're
I'd rather not see him play the infield at all.
Yeah, just DH.
The dude is a hitter.
Yeah.
Let him hit.
Speaking of second basemen that sucked for Seattle for a time, Mariners legend Colton Wong announced his retirement.
Yep.
That dude was also a black hole for us.
Oh yeah.
I actually felt kind of bad. I looked at his numbers. Dude had an 11-year career.
Solid.
Very awesome. 11-year career. 9 of those years, he was a pretty damn good ball player. He had really nice career or numbers with the Cardinals and the Brewers.
I'll never get over how you say Brewers.
The Brewers?
Brewers. Yeah.
And he came here and completely fell off a cliff. Got picked up by the Dodgers, more of the same. Never could get his numbers back up, and he announced his retirement today. I feel just kind of bad. At the end of the day, they're all players. They're humans. He didn't want to come here and suck. And we were definitely critical at the time, but time heals all wounds. And we wish Colton Wong a long and happy retirement.
Yes.
But God, he was garbage for us.
Terrible.
And we thought Polanco was going to be Wong 2.0, and he's turned it around immensely.
At the plate. That's an important detail. At the plate.
We've got Mitch Garver, who's doing serviceable for us.
We said it at the beginning of the year, sticking to it. Any improvement from Mitch Garver is a good thing.
And he's been fine. Grounds into a lot of double plays, I feel like. I mean, obviously, it's like recency bias, but I swear to God, every time I see him come up and there's runners on, he grounds into a double play. And it's just so frustrating. But he's a backup catcher. He's doing just fine for a backup catcher. And that's A-okay because the Mariners have the best catcher in baseball, Cal Raleigh. It's
one of the best players in baseball right now. The dude is playing out of his goddamn mind.
I saw something that he's top 10 in 8 different offensive categories.
That's tight. That's some Aaron Judge shit.
Except Aaron Judge is 1 in 100 offensive categories. But Cal, I mean, phenomenal. Man, was he up to 13, 14 home runs now on the season?
15, I think.
15, 30 RBIs. He's walking. His average is...
He's hella walking, dude. His walk rate is very high.
Yeah, he's improving every single year, and he's only going to get better. I mean, it's just shocking that we can see so young in such a limited time. I mean, a couple years under his belt, but we already see the Hall of Fame potential. You keep these numbers up for 15 years, or, even a catcher, they get a little bit of a shorter career length, but
knees, man.
The knees and the fact that he catches so much. But 10 more years and you're looking at a Hall of Fame catcher. And he keeps the career going. You start hitting some of those milestones, 300 home runs, stuff like that. And before you know it, you got yourself a plaque in Cooperstown.
Dude, for sure. We got to make sure to keep this guy around for as long as possible. Cal Raleigh and Logan Gilbert. Man, I can't wait for Gilbert to come back healthy. Get to watch him play real baseball.
And the fact that the Mariners are in first place with the decimation of injuries and just...
Did we ever talk about that interview that Logan did where he was saying, like, a lot of things have to go right, but me and Cal could be the next Yachty and Wainwright? It's like,
I think we did bring it up, but, it's good to bring up. For those that don't know, Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright hold the record for battery. So the most time they were starting, Wainwright was a starting pitcher and Molina was a starting catcher. They hold the record for most times doing that. And Logan wants to do that with Cal. And
hinted that he wants to stay in Seattle, but when he says a lot has to go right, that means they're going to have to pay me the amount of money that I deserve.
And rightfully so.
Totally.
And, you never know what goes on in these players' heads. And obviously they deserve to make as much money as they can possibly get. They are the top players in the world. You want to do everything you can to financially secure yourself and your family for as long as possible. I'll sometimes blame someone for taking money. I blame like Chris Bryant and going to Colorado, basically saying, I don't care about my career anymore. I'm just going to go to Colorado and pay me all the money and I'll never play. But for the most part, I side with players getting their money. They deserve it. And Logan definitely deserves his money when it's time to pay him. But I think if him and Cal are that close,
it could be huge for them, man.
And I just mean he could maybe take a little bit of the hometown discount.
He might.
Obviously not. And he's not going to get paid peanuts, and he doesn't deserve that. But
that would be a disservice.
Oh, it would be.
You got to pay him.
Yes.
God, speaking of the Rockies, they have won 8 ball games.
Yeah,
it's rough, dude. Out of what have they played?
They're 8-33.
43 ball games?
Yeah.
Is it? No. 40. I don't know. I'm not going to do math right now.
41. And they're 8-33.
46. And they're 8-38. 8-38.
Oh, they're 8-38. I was thinking 33.
Wild.
Yeah, 8-38. So they played 46 games, and that. Yeah, sad boy hours in Colorado. One thing though that I've read is that like the fans in Colorado like don't care because they have made the Rockies Stadium such a fun experience that basically the Rockies Stadium is like the pen the beer garden at T-Mobile. It's like that for their stadium where people go to have baseball on in the background and they just have a sunny summer night.
It's like the biggest bar.
Yeah, and they take good care of their fans. I guess the drinks and stuff are relatively cheap. You get tickets, obviously insanely cheap because the team is so garbage. And people just go to have a good time. And I don't know how I feel about that. One, I mean, if they're having fun in Colorado watching the worst baseball team in history, then, more power to them. But it seems like kind of a disservice to the league of
to have a team so bad and just not really care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even, in football, the Jets and the Browns, just like notoriously bad teams, they at least pretend to make an effort, I guess.
Yeah.
The Jets signed Aaron Rodgers, but tale as old as time, Jets are going to jet. And the Jets do what the Jets do, but at least they pretend like they're trying to get better. The Rockies, you don't see that.
Got Chris Bryant.
They got Chris Bryant, and what else? Like,
had Charlie Blackmon.
Yeah, and did nothing. They don't care about winning baseball there. And I will say, even with the struggles that the Mariners have had the previous years of not making the playoffs, after eventually making the playoffs and then not coming back, we haven't seen a white flag situation like they have in Colorado.
Ever.
Yeah.
They're the worst to ever play the game. I mean, there's something to that, though. There's something about supporting just such a notorious bad team that is kind of fun. It's almost like hipster, though, you know?
Yeah, and I guess, like, if there's no expectations and you are going not caring one iota if the team sucks, then I guess that's freeing in a sense.
It's like listening to lo-fi noise rock through your super expensive speakers that you can hear. Like, I don't know. But it's just some hipster shit to like something so bad.
Yeah. Like, oh, we like them ironically.
Yeah. You get it.
But, the Mariners, like, it's, we have been put in better positions to win. You look at what's going on with the Baltimore Orioles right now, where they were a 100-loss team for like 3 years in a row. They started to get a rebuild going. They had an awesome season last year, and now they're just they didn't spend the money whatsoever in the offseason. They just fired their manager. They're last place in the AL East. They're like 15-30 or something like that on the season.
Brutal.
It's just the Mariners haven't done enough. But right now, we kind of have a perfect storm brewing where it's working out, where all of our backup guys who have had to come in and get significant starts are playing out of their mind. We're seeing great things from Dylan Moore, who's become an everyday starter, even though his position isn't solidified. He's in the lineup damn near every day. He's playing out of his mind. Masterboni has cooled off a little bit. Still great. I think like Masterboni is less amazing. Dylan Moore.
Yeah.
But because Dylan Moore is so damn good that it makes Masterboni's still good. Mm-hmm. He's just a little less than Dylan Moore is. But you went from someone who got DFA'd and who looked in Masterboni, where he got DFA'd and you're like, oh, this career is a crapshoot. And just the fact that he's playing out of his mind. And I think it just has to buy in. The players are feeding off the coaching staff. Dan Wilson is doing great things with this team. Still not always happy with his decisions. I still sometimes feel like he leaves pitchers in too long when they're struggling and is kind of giving them the leash to ride it out. But he's a first-time manager. He's never managed at any level. So for him, he's going through his own growing pains and learning experiences and stuff. But it seems like we're buying in. The team is buying in. We're getting a ton of wins. I mean, first place baseball from a team just racked with injuries. It's next man up. And we're just seeing great things from this team. I'm so happy with them. Let's sweep the White Sox. We actually have the game going on now behind you guys, the fans. It's over there. 1-0 lead early on. It's good for the Mariners. One thing I have noticed, and just an example on that play right there, Cal hasn't been throwing out the base runners as much this year.
Yeah, you think so? You think it's down?
I think it's down a little bit.
I've seen him throw dudes out.
He has thrown dudes out, but
there's been so many times this year where I've said, yeah, keep running on Cal. See what happens. I hope people keep trying to steal second. It's not going to go well. Not on Cal.
And I just don't know if it has to do with maybe pitchers having a little bit slower slide step this year, because we're not seeing really any problems with accuracy or pop time. So I don't know if maybe just hitters are guessing a little bit more on when Cal's calling an off-speed pitch, because it's always better to run on a curveball or a changeup or a slider than a fastball. So I don't know if maybe they're just getting the tendencies down a little bit more, or what the case is. It does seem like they're running a little bit more freely. Obviously, anytime you run on Cal, it's going to be a challenge, and he has a chance to throw you out every single time. But it is just something I've noticed a little bit more this year.
Ben Williamson, good play.
Good scoop by Rowdy.
Yeah.
But, that pretty much covers the gist of it. I think the most important thing is this Houston series. I'm really, really excited for that. 4 games. You take 3 of 4 there in their house.
Hard to do.
It's very hard to do.
That is rare. We don't usually do that.
No,
go to Houston.
Houston has been the bane of the Mariners' existence for quite a while now. There was the 1 year where we only won 1 game against Houston the entire season.
Like 1-14 or something
like that. It's just
that's cool.
So
I wanted to go back just a quick step. We were talking about Brian Wu, and I was trying to think of, I had something and I lost it, but now I got it back. This dude has played games against some of the best starting pitchers in the game, and our team has won those games. The way we're attacking pitchers and chasing them is insane, but it's also on days when Brian Wu starts. You think he's the only one in the league to pitch 6+ innings in every outing he's had?
That is correct. Yeah. Brian Wu has gone 6+ in every single start this season. He's the only pitcher that has done that. And yeah, he's going up against some of the game's best. And
Did he pitch into the 7th yesterday?
He did.
That's so sick.
He did pitch into the 7th. And that's actually kind of a funny thing too, because the Mariners last year, the Mariners had 103 starts where the starting pitcher pitched into the 6th or later, which is astronomical numbers. That is insane. It was the highest in the league by like 25 games. It wasn't even close. The Mariners were going deep into games last year. We are not seeing that as much this year. I remember how weird it was when I saw Brian Wu pitching into the 7th, because we're getting 5 from our starters, but usually they're pulled in the 6th or in the middle of the 6th. So, 5 1/3, 5 2/3. So to see Brian Wu pitch in the 7th is nice. But we're getting 6 innings from Wu every start, and he's a sleeper for Cy Young this year. And, he probably doesn't have as much recognition yet. And, of course, in our eyes, we believe that every dope Mariner should be recognized. But the East Coast bias is very, very real. We're not as well known across the national media. And
God, we were so looking for that attention.
We wanted that in the Yankees series.
Yeah. And the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
The Yankees.
The Yankees won especially because John Boy has so much pull also in baseball media, and especially to the more like casual fan. And that would have been awesome. And of course, we got the breakdowns and stuff, the John Boy breakdowns, because there was an ejection in the Yankees-Mariners game.
We should also mention the Oswaldo Cabrera injury.
That one was tough. That also, again, yeah, the Mariners getting recognized, but for the wrong reasons, just for any form of attention, because we want people to be talking about the Mariners and how good they are and what we've got cooking over here. And yeah, that I'm sure most of you are aware, and anyone that isn't, Oswaldo Cabrera, brutal, broken ankle, and a play at the plate. And everyone said on the slide at the plate, it wasn't even a slide. It was such a total freak accident.
Instead of sliding, his legs kind of caught up to him.
It was like a stutter
step. And then he fell kind of backwards onto one of his ankles and just
it turned around. It was the first time I'd ever seen the ambulance on the field.
Yeah.
That was shocking. It was sad. It was scary. He was down for so long. And just what a brutal freak injury, a non-contact injury. He was running to the plate. He, on a sacrifice fly, avoided Cal's tag. And as he went to stop and dive to the plate, his ankle just brutally snapped. It was not fun. And, just my heart breaks for any serious injury like that. Like, all injuries suck. But if someone has, hamstring tightness, you're like, oh, that sucks. But you can stretch. Like, to see a young player like this go down with an injury like that. And it's every, most little boys' dreams to play in the major leagues someday. And the fact that this young kid is living that dream and to have such a terrible freak accident, it's just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see. You never want to see anyone go down with an injury, but something like that especially is really tough. He seems to be healing fine. He's had surgery, all that. So we hope him a quick and speedy recovery and hopefully no long-lasting effects. You never know if it's so sad to think that, like, what if his speed takes a dip for the rest of his career?
How many years that took off of his career because of that one freak injury?
And hopefully that's not the case. Yeah. Hopefully the answer is 0 years and it fully heals. But yeah, that was a tough one. You never want to see that. And just kind of just all bad stuff that happened in that Yankees series. The Mariners couldn't catch a break, and he caught a break. Very
unfortunate.
Yeah. Very bad.
Well, what do we got coming up? Yep, White Sox, Astros, and then Nationals. I'm kind of worried about that Nationals series.
I'm not.
No?
I don't think so. We're back at home, which is nice. This has been the longest road trip the Mariners have had this season, and it's one of the longer ones they'll have all year. 3 cities, 10 games. It's a long road trip.
Yeah. Well, we've been playing better on the road.
We have been.
kind of been dookie at home.
Yeah, we haven't been. It hasn't been the best at home record. I still think we're doing just fine.
Yeah.
The pitching at home just has been slightly less dominant than it has been in years prior. And the bats have just kind of been working a bit more at home.
I said it a couple episodes, maybe last episode. What happened to the marine layer? Just didn't happen this year?
It disappeared.
Go for groundhog, saw his shadow or whatever. No.
The marine layer. The marine layer no longer exists.
Yeah, what?
And I think it doesn't exist because our new hitting staff with Kevin and Edgar decided that if you swing at good pitches and swing well, the marine layer won't knock your ball down as much. And I think that's what we're seeing. The hitting approach has been so much better, and we're seeing everyone take good swings, good at bats, and or you're squaring up the ball. And, every once in a while, and it happens at every stadium, but there's still a few times where I see a ball jump off the bat, and I'm like, oh my God, that's going to Neptune, and it kind of just dies at the track.
Yeah.
So the marine layer is obviously still a factor in a sense. Just the cold air coming off the sound, but it's been less of a factor, and I think it just boils down to squaring up good pitches and stuff that you miss just by a fraction of an inch. Depends on whether it's going to die at the wall or carry over, and we're just putting really, really good swings on the ball. And yeah, the marine layer, RIP, I guess. And then the hot weather is coming right around the corner, which is kind of when we waited for the home runs to start happening anyways. But it's happening early, and we can expect only more of it when the sunshine hits and it's, 70s and 80s every single day, which I'm looking forward to. I would like to go to a Mariners game in a jersey and not a
in
jacket.
the daytime.
Yeah, and not a jacket.
Yep.
So I guess the big thing, this Houston series, super excited. Honestly, split the series.
I'm cool.
That's a win for us.
That is a win.
Especially a 4-game series, 2-2. Take it, go home, have a hell of a homestand or a road trip, and come back, and hopefully the homestand is better than the previous one.
3 is outstanding. 4, I'm over the moon.
Yeah.
We're going to come back hot next week.
Yeah, and we need to go better than 1-5 in our homestand.
Can you imagine sweeping a 4-game? It's not even real.
I know we can't get too excited, but a boy can dream.
Yeah.
I mean, what if we just swept the road trip?
Insanity. Yeah, we'll have to do something real special if that happens.
Get some, like, some poppers.
Party blowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we have to be excited about. And the Mariners keep winning. It's been a lot of fun. We've been fighting through the injuries, and somehow we're still in first place. And despite that little kind of drop there for a week, it's been good baseball again. So let's keep this up. Chicago, Houston, Nationals, and we'll be back next week to keep you informed about all the Mariners stuff that happened. Thank you all for listening, and go Mariners!